The practice that I'm going to take you through today is it's kind of like a potpourri practice, which means that we're just going to kind of hit everything. We're going to hit a lot of different things. So I think we had requests for knee, back, hip, and hamstrings, and we'll certainly kind of hit all those areas. And I'll try to keep that in mind as we go through the practice so that you get some little tips and different things. And as with any practice, basically we want to make sure that we can move in a pain-free range of motion, but we don't want to really avoid movement necessarily. Actually loading the body will help us feel better over time. So there's this, it's called Goldilocks loading, where you give your body just enough load, which means weight bearing, enough work, that the body ends up actually changing over time. So again, we don't want to push into the areas of pain or anything, but just know that a little bit of effort is actually good. And this practice is based on a series from the Moksha series. And so it's kind of loosely based on that. And again, what's nice about it is that we'll hit all kinds of different, different postures, different poses. And one of the neat things is in the middle of it, you get a little mini Shavasana. So you get to look forward to that, and then we'll start moving again. So it's an interesting practice, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's start in any comfortable seated position. I'm going to grab just a little bolster and sit up on it just to give some elevation to the spine. So you could feel free to do that. We won't use any special props today, but if you wanted to grab blocks or straps or anything like that, feel free to do so. And let's just start by just settling into the breath and the body. You can let your eyes start to drift towards closed and really concentrate on the lengthening of your spine. And as you're sitting here and noticing your spine and your breathing, just get a little movement through the spine. So that might be in circling around, like making little circles through the spine, rolling around a little bit. You can make these big or small. And just because it's morning and we're kind of waking up, we just want to dig into a little bit of sensation and movement before we get still. And then let's switch directions. So just roll your spine around in as big of circles as you would like. And then let that movement just settle so your circles will get smaller, and see if that movement helps you find a longer spine. Lengthening from the tailbone on up to the crown of the head. And bring your hands together to touch at the center of the heart. And take 3 full breaths in and out through the nose or the mouth. Conscious breaths. Use this breathing practice to center you here. Now we'll add a little bit of movement to this breath. So you might open your eyes and take a breath in, lift your chest. And with your exhale, interlace your hands and press the palms forward out in front of you. Stretch your wrists. You know, if you're Megan, you're not doing this with your broken wrist. Modify as needed. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms out to the side. And we'll do this 4 more times. Inhale, hands at the heart. Exhale, interlace the palms, press the hands forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms out to the side. And just follow this pattern on your own, following your own breathing 3 more times. Feel free to let the eyes close if you have the pattern. If you need to blink your eyes open and check, you can. Just again, let this breath be the leader and let it anchor you and center you. And after you finish those rounds, hands back together at the heart, anchor yourself in your breath, feel the spine lengthening. Take a breath in and a breath out. And bow your head to your heart, set an intention for your practice for today. What you need to get out of this movement, this breathing, this time for yourself, set it here. Then blink your eyes open and let's come to all fours, hands and knees. So you can slide any props out of the way, just give yourself some space. We're gonna start with just a couple rounds of cat-cow. So hands on the ground, and of course you could move the weight back if you like. You could skip this and go to child's pose if that's better for you, if you don't wanna bear weight on the wrist, or just find some gentle movement through the spine, arching the back, looking forward as you breathe in, and then pressing down and rounding as you breathe out. And just continue a few more times. And then come to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes, walk your hands back towards your knees. And then we're gonna lift the knees up. So you're in a little toe squat and then come into a forward fold. So it's a nice transition, just an easy transition into a forward fold. Let your feet get a little wider. Let your head hang heavy. And let's roll up the spine. So bend the knees a little bit, roll up your spine. Notice the spaces where you needed to slow down a little bit, roll the shoulders onto the back. Good, and then come to stand in the middle of the mat. Now I'm gonna turn to face you for the next little part of this series, but you can stay at the top of your mat. So let's find Tadasana here, mountain pose. So you can stand with your feet planted in a comfortable position for you. So that might mean that you widen the feet out or you bring the feet together and spin the palms forward so your arms externally rotate. And lift up tall through the spine. See if you can move the pelvis a little bit. So tilting and tucking the pelvis a little to get some movement there. And then we're gonna go back to our breathing practice that we started with, seated. We're just gonna do it standing here. So neutral spine now, crown of the head lifted, hands together at the heart. Take a breath in, lift the chest. And with your exhale, interlace the hands, press your palms forward. Inhale, take your arms up to the sky. Exhale, arms out to the side. 4 more times like this. Follow your breath. Let your breath anchor you. Stay centered in your practice. We come together as a group to practice, but really we're having our own experience on the mat. The pacing of your breathing might be different than mine, than the other people who are practicing with you, and that's life. We come together, but we all have our individual experience. When you're finished with your 5, meet together, hands together at the center of the heart and re-anchor into your feet. Feet are super important for the structure of your knees and your hips and your back, so just feel them planted. We're gonna move into tree pose now, balancing posture. So bring the hands to the hips, move the weight into the right foot, pop up onto the ball of your left foot, and just feel the balance transfer here. We're gonna do a fair amount of balancing practices, poses in this practice, so this is your first one. Open your knee out to the side. And left foot could stay here, anchored into the right ankle or the side of the right ankle. Or you might start to walk that foot up a little higher, up the inside of your leg. And really see if you're collapsing through that right hip and see if you can hug the right hip in. So you really press down through the standing leg and then maybe hands together at the heart. Feel your breath moving in your body. Even though we're in this stationary posture, feel your breath moving. Good. Point that knee forward and let's release the foot down and switch sides. Hands to your hips to start. Weight into your left foot. Pop up onto the ball of your right foot and get your balance here. Then start to turn your right knee open and find your balance here. Standing leg is strong. Hug that left hip in. Press down through the left heel. Either stay here, maybe hands at the heart, maybe you walk the foot up a little higher into tree. It's your practice. There's all kinds of variations. So you get to choose, you get to play, you get to modify within the structure of this sort of, this little group community experience that we have together. Good. Let's point that knee forward and step the foot down. Release your arms to your sides. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Let's take a side bend to the right. So drop your right arm down on your breath out and just stretch with the left arm over your head. Feel the left inner foot pressing down into the floor. Reach through the left fingertips. And then arms up towards the sky, reach high. Let's switch sides. Left arm down, right arm high, reach. And really press down through the inner edge of your right foot. Come back to the center, both arms up, and then bring your arms out to shoulder height in front of you. We're gonna bend the knees now into chair. So pay attention to how your knees feel, how your hips feel. So we're just shifting the hips back in space. See if you can, I'm gonna turn to the side now. See if you can move your pelvis in this position. So rocking the pelvis back and forth. If your pelvis gets locked, sometimes that will lead to the load on your body being distributed in ways that you don't want, like in your spine. So just feel if you can move your pelvis. Now, keep your hands out in front of you at shoulder height. We're gonna straighten the legs. And here's a little challenge. We'll lift up onto the toes. So lift your heels up. We're in this little tiptoe shape. Balance. See where your gaze needs to be. See if you can keep your heels high and bend your knees any amount. So it's like you're sliding your back down a wall behind you, coming into this sort of awkward chair pose. See what you have. See how you can balance. And then rise back up onto your tiptoes, do your best, and then lower your heels to the floor. Release your arms. Good. Let's take the arms out to the side. Reach up high. Breathe in and stretch. Let's cross the right elbow under the left elbow and hold on to opposite shoulders, or you could wrap up at the wrist for eagle pose. So either one of these options you choose. And then bring your feet right together for this one. Big toes touching, bend your knees, any amount. Now we're gonna move the weight into the left foot and cross the right knee over the left knee for eagle. And you can put that foot on the floor for support, that right foot on the floor, and just feel. You might pick the right foot up and balance. You might see if you can wrap the right foot around the standing leg, optional. And then let's release the legs, unwind the arms, reach up, breathe in. Switch sides, left elbow under right. Wrap it up. Either opposite shoulders or wrap it up at the wrists. Feet together, bend your knees, sit low like chair. And then let's cross left knee over right knee for eagle. And again, foot on the floor, or you might play with the balance. We're working ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. All the major joints of the body are moving and bending. Let's release, unwind the legs, unwind the arms, reach up, breathe in. And then hands together at the heart. Sit your hips low into chair again. So feet together, or you can widen out. It doesn't matter. You get to choose. We're going to take a little twist to the right here. So take a breath in, hands at the heart. Just turn your upper body to the right. Come back to the center, inhale. Let's take that 2 more times. Exhale, turn and twist to the right. Back to the center. And 1 more time, hold this one. You might bend in a little further, maybe elbow toward your opposite knee, or you could extend your arms out straight. Your arms and legs don't have to meet. Feel. And then come back to the center, hands at the heart. You're still in chair. See if you can hold this chair. If you need to straighten your legs and come out for a moment, you could. Take a breath in and then twist to the left. I know it's hard to hold this position for this long. Release on your breath in. 2 more times, twisting to the left. Use your breath. Feel the effort in your body. Hold the last one. Maybe tuck in a little bit closer, knee, elbow to your opposite knee. Maybe extend the arms. And then release, come back to the center, and then fold forward over your legs. Lift your hips and release. And here's a little hamstring stretching, very common in yoga to do this forward fold, stretching the backs of the legs. So just feel where you need to put the weight. Maybe move the weight into the toes and back into the heels. Let your head relax in this second forward fold of our practice. Hold on to opposite elbows perhaps, or just sway back and forth. Then bring your fingertips down to the earth. We're going to step the, let's step the right leg back first into a lunge. Nice long lunge. And here, if you have blocks and you want to give yourself some support of the blocks under your hands, you could do that. And just pay attention to how this ankle feels, how your knee feels. Get balanced on your legs. And then we're going to float the arms next to the hips, maybe, or you could stay with your hands on the block. So this hovering lunge, just feel the belly drawing up away from the front thigh. Then let's rise up, lift the torso up, arms up, open through the chest, breathe in. And with your exhale, open into warrior 2. Turn your back heel down and sit down into that front thigh. And just pay attention to how your knee is feeling. Let's bring the hands to the hips. This is not in the Moksha series, but we're going to play around with it a little bit. Let your knee fall in towards the center. We're never supposed to do this in yoga. It's not a good thing. I'm joking. It's just a cue that you hear a lot. If you let your knee fall in towards the center, your body can do it. So we could, practice it. Let's take it the other way. So lean the knee out, maybe leaning onto the outside edge of your foot, and just see what it feels like to be that way. Then point the knee straight forward and reach out through both sides of your front thigh. Now reach the arms out. Breathe in. Let's go to extended side angle. Tip the left elbow towards the inner leg, top arm up. Feel your leg working, your front leg working. Pull that front heel back towards your back arch. Take a breath in. And then with your exhale, turn into a lunge. So hands on the blocks or on the floor. We'll pick up this back heel. We're going to step forward into a forward fold. So back foot steps forward. Let your head release. And here in this forward fold, let's take the peace fingers, middle finger and the index finger, and scoop up the big toes from the inside. So your palms face each other and the elbows are going to go out to the side. Lengthen your spine with your breath in. So get really long from the tailbone up to the crown of the head. Then with your exhale, draw yourself closer into this forward fold. Pull the elbows out to the side. Relax your head. Find your breathing. Release your fingers from your toes, hands back on the blocks or on the floor. Lengthen your spine, take a half lift, either hands on blocks or palms on the shins, and then fold forward again. Let's take those standing poses on the other side. So step your left leg back into a lunge, sort of like a classic runner's lunge. And often in yoga, I'm just going to talk about the knees for a minute. We're told that we should have the knee over the ankle, which is fine. But but our knee can go forward past the ankle, it's fine. We do that all the time when we're tying our shoes or we're climbing stairs. So just the important thing that I want you to keep in mind is not to vilify any of these movements. There's no such thing as really perfect alignment. So just let that go and let your body lead the way. So here, you're standing in this lunge position, get yourself into a position where you feel strong. If that means you need to back off a little bit, you could. If you need to change the positioning of your feet, you could. Let's play with floating the arms next to the sides. Pull the belly off the front thigh. And then rise up into a high lunge, arms alongside your ears. This is like warrior one with the back heel lifted. Just lift the chest, reach through the crown of the head, through the fingertips. And then open into warrior two. Spin your back heel down. If you need to change the alignment of your feet, do it. So that your knees feel good, so that your hips feel good, change it. There's no rules, right? So let's play with letting that knee lean in. So it's like you're leaning onto the inside edge of your right foot. As long as it doesn't hurt, you can try this. And then do the same thing, leaning out into the outer edge of that front foot. Then come to the center, reach out through both sides of the thigh. Fingertips reaching, take a breath in, and then come to extended side angle. Tip the right arm forward, lift the left arm up, and stretch. Take another breath in, and then turn into a lunge. Hands on the blocks, step the back foot forward again. So we're back in our forward fold. Let your head relax. Now we'll do a pose where we stand on the hands. So instead of using the peace fingers like we did last time, use your right hand and slide your right hand underneath your right foot, and left hand underneath the left foot. And if this doesn't work for you, like for example, if you have a broken arm, you'll skip it. Do what you can. Also, if you can't get your hands under your feet, don't worry about it. You can bend your knees as much as you need to, but you can also just skip this. The point of this is to get some connection between the hands and the feet and to stretch the wrists. So if you wanted to stretch the wrists in a different way and you couldn't get your hands under the blocks, you could always or under your feet, you could use blocks to stretch them this way. So you choose. Padahastasana is what this pose is called. And then release your hands from underneath your feet. And let's find a half lift. Lengthen your spine, breathe in. And with your breath out, fold forward. Let's rise up to stand. Root into your feet, lift the chin, look forward, take your arms out to the side and all the way up. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Okay, we're gonna get ready for our next little balancing series. So this time, let's balance on the right leg. This pose is called toppling tree, but it's kind of like warrior three. So really press down into your right foot. Flex your left foot so that it hovers off the floor. You can take your hands to your hips. You could leave them at the heart, or you could take your arms out to the side like airplane arms. And we're just gonna tip the chest forward as we take the left leg back behind, any amount. So you choose how far you go. Really press down through that standing heel. Notice the little dance that your ankle is doing to keep you steady. Feel your breathing. Now let's rise up, pull that leg back underneath you, and then bend your left knee. Reach your left hand to hold your left foot in the standing baby dancer's pose. So you're holding the left foot with your left hand. Reach the right arm up towards the sky and bring your index finger, bring your middle finger and your thumb together to touch. So you're in this little mudra with your hand over your head. You could stay here, or you could kick the left foot back, left shin back, and pull with your left hand against that foot. Feel your breathing. And then release. Release the arm down, release the foot down, and then take any little circles through the hips, any circles through the ankles in that standing leg that you need to. And let's get ready for the other side. So this is linking two balanced postures together. Now that you know what we're going to do, maybe you'll find a little more ease with the second side. So hands together at the heart, or hands to the hips, or arms out to the side, you choose. Press down into the left foot, hover the right foot off the floor, and then start to tip your body forward. Torso forward, right leg goes back, any amount. Just feel what happens in your body. The two sides are really different. It's important for us to work on our single leg strength. So both legs need to be working. So sometimes doing this work will expose things that we need to individually work on. Let's pull the leg back up, stand back up, and then bend your right knee, reach your right hand behind you, hold on to the foot. Left arm up towards the sky, middle finger and thumb together to touch. You could stay here in this little baby dancer's pose. It's a great quad stretch. Or you could kick the right foot back, launch the heart forward and up, pull with the right hand on the foot, and breathe. Good, let's rise back up. Release the hand, release the foot. Hands together at the heart. Circle the hips around a little again if you need to, or pick up that standing foot and circle the ankle. Hands together at the heart. Take a breath in, lift your chest. Exhale, release your arms to your sides. Reach your arms up, breathe in. Exhale, fold forward over your legs, forward fold. Let your head relax. Lengthen your spine, breathe in. Half lift, palms to your shins or your thighs. Exhale, fold. And then rise back up, look forward, rise up. Arms to the sky. Exhale, hands together at the heart. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach your arms up, breathe in. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. It's a half sun salutation. Inhale, arms, hands to your shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Look up, arms out to the side, rise up on your breath in. Hands together at the heart, and breathe out. 1 more time like that. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Lengthen your spine, breathe in. Exhale, fold. And now let's step back to downward facing dog. So put your hands on the floor, step 1 foot back, step the other foot back. Down dog. It's our first down dog of the day. So just feel it. Feel what it feels like. Bend the knees left and right. Maybe play with the placement of your feet. And bring your awareness into your spine. Can you feel your spine? Can you move your pelvis? It's important to be able to move the pelvis in all kinds of different positions, because the pelvis is what supports our spine. Let's come down to child's pose, knees to the floor, sit back, relax. Feel into your breathing. Good. And then rock forward, make your way down onto your back. Guess what? It's time for our mini Shavasana. We're about halfway in. So all the way down to your back and just release the legs out. We're just here for 1 minute. So this is a chance for you to practice how quickly you can drop. How quickly you can drop your body, your muscles, your bones, your thoughts. All right, let's bend the knees, put the feet on the floor. We're gonna hug the right knee in towards the chest. Right knee in and extend the left leg along the floor. And just feel this hip, play with the angle, play with how far you wanna hug the knee in, what that's doing to your pelvis. Can you move into a position that supports your hips, your pelvis? If you want to get a bigger hamstring stretch, hands behind the back of the thigh, extend your right leg straight. And just take some nice circles with your ankle. So rolling around. And as you're doing this movement, you might incorporate a point of the toes and a flex of the foot so that you're really moving through all of those little muscles and joints. And then switch direction with your ankle circles. And then stop in the middle. If you wanted to bring your hands up a little higher on your leg or draw the knee in closer towards your chest, you could. Some of you will have long arms and can reach your peace fingers for your big toes and hold the big toe. And then the left hand could come down to the top of the left thigh. It doesn't mean anything about your moral capabilities or your experience with yoga if you can reach your big toe or not. It just means that you have long arms. So just feel what you feel and relax. Now let's bend the left knee, put the foot on the floor if it's not there already, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh for figure 4. And you could stay here. You could rock from side to side. Sometimes it feels really good to rock toward the right hip, so you give your right hip a little self-massage by rocking over to that side. You might also like to rock to the other side. Your right foot could even come to the floor. It's a little twist. You could continue rocking like that, or you could draw the knees in. Maybe take the hands behind the left thigh and take this little figure 4 stretch. Let's take about 3 breaths here. Good. Now release the hands if you have them. We're going to keep this kind of crossing of the right leg over, but we're going to come into eagle legs. So cross your right knee over your left knee, like you're sitting in a chair. And then really hug your legs together. Take your right arm and cross it under your left arm and hold on to opposite shoulders like we did before when we were standing in eagle, or wrap up the wrists. Take a breath in and move your knees and your elbows away from each other. And with your exhale, lift your head and draw the knees and the elbows towards each other. And we'll take this 4 more times. So inhale, lengthen away. Exhale, hug up together. Continue on your own. And after you've done 5, unwind and release. Feet to the floor. Let your arms relax next to you. Snuggle in. Take a few breaths. And then when you're ready, hug the left knee in towards your chest, knee to your chest. Extend the right leg straight. And again, you get to decide. Your body has this intelligence that if you listen to it, if you back off a little bit, or if you give yourself a different input, then you might feel better. You know, when you have sensations that are pain, it's just the body's request for a different option. So give your body that different option. See what it has to tell you. Let's extend the left leg up towards the sky, hands behind the back of the thigh. Let's take those slow little ankle circles and really pointing through the toes as you circle around so that you get into all these different ranges of motion that you might not normally visit. Let's switch direction. And then stop in the center. And then again, if you'd like, you can walk the hands up a little higher. You could hug the leg in a little closer towards your chest. Maybe add that hand to big toe position. Right hand on the thigh. Feel your body. Have your own individual experience. And then bend your right knee, cross your left ankle over the right thigh, and then just find that rocking back and forth in this figure 4 position. You might linger on one side or the other. Stop in the middle and then hug the knees in, lifting the right foot off the floor. Hands could come around the back of the left or the right thigh. And just feel here. Feel the hip. Notice the sensations. Sometimes stretching feels really good and it's something we want to do. It helps us release tension. And sometimes it can be counterproductive. It can be too far. So you have to regulate for yourself. Let's release the hands and go into those eagle legs. So cross the left knee over the right knee. Wrap the left elbow under the right elbow. Wrap up at the wrists or hold on to opposite shoulders. Take a breath in, move the knees and elbows away from each other. And with your exhale, lift the head, bring the knees and elbows towards each other. And continue 4 more times on your own. Let your breath be the leader. After you've done 5, unwind, bring your feet to the floor, arms next to your sides. And let's get ready for bridge pose. So really plant your feet down to the floor, bring your arms next to your sides. Let's bend the elbows so the fingers point up towards the sky and really move the upper arm bones down into the floor. Scoop the pelvis under, take a breath in, and then with your exhale, roll the hips up off the floor, rolling into bridge. So low back, mid back lifts up, press through the upper arms. You could stay here or you could straighten your arms, reaching your toes down towards your feet, towards your heels. You might interlace the hands beneath your back and snuggle the shoulders in a little closer. You choose. It's your practice. Feel the legs supporting you. Half the pose is in your legs. Pressing down through the heels. And then slowly unwind and unfurl the spine. So coil down, upper back, mid back, low back, and then the pelvis lands. And just take a breath in and a breath out. Straighten your legs. We're going to roll over onto the belly. So lift your arms up towards the sky. I'm going to roll to my left. So you could do that as well if you'd like. And we're just going to have a little fun with this. Take your left arm alongside your ear back behind you. Lift the right fingertips up towards the sky and then reach the right arm towards the left side of your body. See if you can continue reaching across your body as you roll onto the belly. And you'll probably roll off your mat. So then you have to sort of scoot yourself back over onto your mat. Okay, once you're here on your belly, lay your head down on your hands or get into a position. You could either make a little pillow with your hands, or you could rest the arms next to your sides and turn one cheek to the floor. And just snuggle in here. This is a little series of belly down back bends designed to just strengthen the back muscles and get you familiar with moving from this belly down position. So first, let's bring the chin to the middle of the mat and bring your hands next to your sides, like next to your ribs, like you're going to do a push-up. Scoop the pelvis under so that your pubic bone presses down into the floor, and think about length through the spine. So tailbone back towards your heels, crown of the head forward. Maybe you're getting so much length that your chest is lifting up, but you're not pushing into your hands. In fact, maybe the hands can hover off the floor. Think about length through your spine. Keep holding here. Extend your arms back behind you. Lift your arms up behind you. So legs are strong. Pubic bone continues to press down. Maybe add on a lift of the legs. Crown of the head continues to extend forward. Now flex your feet. Curl the heels in towards your seat like you're doing a hamstring curl. Maybe you can reach for your feet. Maybe not. If you have your feet, flex your feet again, holding onto the ankles, and then kick your shins back. Let your shoulders roll forward a little bit. The chest is moving up and forward. And then if you'd like to, you can point your toes and lift the toes up a little higher in Dhanurasana, upward facing bow. And then whatever position you're in, release. Rest your arms by your sides and turn one cheek to the floor, or you could come back into that making a pillow with your hands. Give your hips a little shake from side to side and just let that work go. Good. Lift your head, put your hands next to your ribs like you're going to do a push-up. Pubic bone down, press into the floor now and press up to all fours. Go back to child's pose. So widen your knees, settle your hips back, and you could have your knees together. Again, it's your practice. So now we're going to move into the vinyasa series, which is basically just our basic vinyasa. I'll talk you through it 5 times, and feel free to skip this completely, or you could work with something like cat-cow. So let's come forward to all fours, hands and knees. Tuck your toes, lift the hips up into downward facing dog. So many of you, if you practice vinyasa yoga, you'll know this little vinyasa series. And we're going to do 5 of them right in a row, which is very different from how we normally practice this. We'll go slowly through the stages. So come forward to plank pose, top of a push-up. Take a breath in and then lower your knees to the floor on your breath out and lower slowly all the way down to the belly. Untuck your toes, press the pubic bone down, lift the hands, lift the chest into this hovering cobra on your inhale. And then with your exhale, lower down. Press yourself up to all fours and then go back to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. That's one. We'll add on a little bit, or you could stick with that knee down version. Inhale, come forward to plank. With your exhale, lower slowly to the floor. Legs could stay straight for that one. Untuck your toes, lift the chest forward and up. Hover your hands, and then place your hands down on the floor. Think about length through the spine. Maybe press up a little higher into cobra. Exhale, lower down, tuck your toes, make your way up through all fours to downward facing dog. That's another version of it. That was number 2. Let's do the next one. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, drive the pubic bone down, lift up into cobra, hands on the floor, or you could straighten your arms and lift the thighs off the floor for upward facing dog, chest forward. Breathe in, and with your exhale, roll over your toes and go back to down dog, or come through all fours. So we'll do 2 more. Do them on your own with any of those versions that we did before, or you can make up your own because it's your practice. So follow the breath. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to lower somehow. Inhale to open into some version of cobra or up dog. Exhale, make your way back to down dog. One more time on your own. And then come to child's pose and relax. Let's rise up to sit on the knees. So now this next pose, if you have knee issues, which I know one person did, you may not love this pose, so feel free to skip it. But it is important to work on bending the knees, which is a whole other class really. But we're going to move into a pose called hero pose, Virasana, and there's lots of different variations of this. If you want to use a block to sit on, you could. And this version that I'm going to teach you is the moksha version. I'm going to turn to face you. And this one, we're going to take the knees wide and the big toes together and just see how this feels. Again, you could be upright if you need to. And one nice thing is to use blocks to support your hips if you like. And lots of people need about 13 blocks to feel comfortable here. So, everybody's different. I know I'm wearing these dark colors, so you might not be able to see very well, but you could be very upright here. If you're down lower, if your knees feel fine, you can be lower. And you could be all the way down on your heels. And if you'd like, you can bring the hands behind you, lift the hips up and scoop the pelvis under and sit the hips into the kind of the insides of your feet. And then you can lean back here a little bit. This is just a quad stretch. And again, so many options here. So just feel what you feel. Some people can lie all the way back in this pose and feel, pretty comfortable. But some people can't go anywhere. We're all different. We all have different capacities. Okay, whatever position you're in, rise up. And then we'll come to stand up on the knees. And here, if you have a hard surface and you want to give yourself some padding, you could flip your mat over or grab a blanket. And we're just going to do a version of camel pose. So let's tuck the toes under. Bring your arms out in front of you, shoulder height, like we did way back at the beginning of the practice. Think about length through your spine, pubic bone forward, pelvis forward. Take a breath in, and then hinge your body back in a straight line. So leaning back in one straight line. Lift up again. Now let's reach the arms up. Flip your palms to face behind you like you're going to do a pull-up, like you're on a pull-up bar. Take a breath in, lift up through the fingertips, and then pull your arms back, fists back next to your ribs, and then lean back, hinge back. So you could stay here, or you could straighten your arms, and maybe your heels will be there for you to hold on to, maybe not. And then from here, you might lift the chest a little bit, lean the heart open. And then let's go back the way that we came. So fists next to the ribs. Launch your way forward. Untuck your toes and then just sit back and relax. All right, let's uncurl the mat. We're gonna get ready for pigeon pose. So if you know this and you'd like to come into it from downward facing dog, you could come up into down dog and bring the shin forward, or you could go into it from all fours. We're gonna slide the right shin forward, turn the shin out on an angle, and then you can play with whether you like that left leg to be straight back behind you, or if you'd like to find a little pinwheel shape by bending the back knee, and just fold forward on any angle that feels like it wants your attention. Let your body relax. We're starting to move into some forward folds now, seated. So you might see how your hips feel, how your knees feel. Make it feel good in your body. One more breath here. When you're ready, rise up, switch sides. So you can move through down dog or all fours, it doesn't matter, or you could just slide onto the other hip from a seated position. Doesn't matter. We have all these rules that we like to, play around with, and it's important to have a framework, but we all have such individual bodies and constitutions that you need to be able to have the freedom to play around, even within a framework like this. So again, back leg could be straight or bent. Just notice the sensations that you have in your body. This is a good time for you to come back to the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. See if you need to reestablish that intention. And then let's rise up and just let the weight go into that left hip. Swing the right leg around and come into a seat. And we're going to extend the legs out into a straddle position. So if you need to set yourself up on your mat a little bit differently, you could. We're just going to take a little side bend here. So before you start, let's lean back into the hands and just see if you can move your pelvis. This is something that we keep coming back to. Can you move your pelvis? It gets harder when we're seated because the pelvis is grounded, but you might be able to rock forward and back and find that tilting and tucking, which means that your spine will have better support from the pelvis. So let's lift up. And if you feel more comfortable just with your hands behind you for support, that's fine. Or take your arms out to the side. We're going to take a side bend to the right. So take a big breath in, and then with your exhale, side bend to the right. Right hand on the right leg, left arm up. And just feel the sensations in your body. Good. Rise up to the center, arms wide, and then take that over to the other side. Notice what's opened up in your body, what feels different, what's shifted, and maybe what has opened up in your mind. Have you let go of rules that you thought you had to follow? Take your arms out to the side and then release the hands down. Good. Let's bring the legs together, straight out in front of you. So same thing here. Can you move your pelvis? So hands behind you. Let's bend the knees to start with the feet on the floor, heels on the floor. And then just see if you can find some rocking in the pelvis. Stop in the center, and then let's bring the hands out in front and start to hinge forward. So you could stay with this version with your legs bent, or you could edge your feet out a little straighter with the knees slightly bent. See if you can tip the pelvis forward so you have a little arch in the spine, long spine, and start to fold forward. And some of you will straighten the legs all the way and just let your body round forward. Let the chin drop towards the chest. And you might feel this in the back or in the hips or in the backs of the legs. Good. Let's rise up. Bring the hands next to your hips. Bend the right knee and put the right foot across on the other side of the left leg. Bring your arms out in front of you. Take a breath in and then peel the right arm open into a twist. Place that right hand down behind you on the floor for support and then hug the knee in with your left hand. Think about length through your spine as you breathe in. Turn and twist as you breathe out. One more breath in and out. Unwind from your twist. Let's switch sides. Right leg straight, left leg bends. Arms out in front of you, take a breath in, and then peel the left arm open into your twist. Put the left hand behind you for support. Right hand wraps around the front knee. Take a couple breaths here. Find that length through the spine. Good. Unwind. Both legs forward. Let's make our way down onto the back. Reach your arms forward, take a breath in, and then roll all the way down slowly to your back. And let everything relax into Shavasana. So let your legs stretch out, let your arms stretch out. Turn the palms up to the sky if that feels comfortable for you, or rest your hands on your body in a place that's nurturing. And I will come up into a seat while you rest. We'll just be here for our Shavasana, final relaxation. So again, how quickly can you drop? Drop your bones, your muscles, your thoughts, your intentions, your breathing. Drop it all and just be. Slowly bring your awareness back to your breathing, back to structure of your body, your skin, your fingers, your toes, the belly, your eyes, the jaw. And then start to find some movement with the fingers and the toes. Let your body move in a way that feels good to you. That's what it's all about. Start to awaken. Trust your body to guide you into a way to sit up. Hands together at the center of the heart. And bow your head again down to the heart. Re-anchor into your intention and just see if it's something that you've resolved, or it's something that you need to shift, or if it's something that will come with you for the rest of the day off the mat. And offer gratitude for you showing up to your practice to have this individual experience within the community of our practice. Namaste.